Okay, I want to test some rockets, so see what we can do. I'll take two different types.
Request rearming.
Alright, I'm just gonna do a quick startup and then taxi out, and then I'm gonna show what needs to be activated for the rockets to work. It's very, very simple.
Rearming complete.
Warning.
Been all over the place as usual. Okay, there is a few steps that needs to be done for the rockets to work. First, we have to select the rocket stations. Doing that's the pushing the stores. There we are. As you can see, we have two 4 rocket stores on the inner pylons and 2 19 rocket stores on the outer pylons. And there are 2 ways to select them. can select them up here, the different types. So click on that's the inner pylons, that's outer pylons. You can select the gun if you like. The other way you can select is down here, which is also the select pylons. So you get 2 and 6, it pops up, that's those. 3 and 5, that are those. This is the gun pod. The outer one, sidearm doesn't show right now actually, for some reason. So that's the first step, selecting them. Second, you set the how you want them to fire. That means the quantity means how many rockets you want to fire from one pod, from one of them. Like now it's 0-1, that means it will fire just one from each pod. So one from this one from this one. Set this to 2. We fire 2 from there and 2 from there at the same time, so 4 altogether. No, now online. It will actually only fire 2 from one pylon, because the multiple is how many pylons I want it to fire from. So if you set this to 2, that means it will fire 2 from this and 2 from this. If we set this to 5 rockets on 2 pylons, it will fire 5 rockets from this one, 5 from this one, so 10 altogether from each pickle push. So I'm gonna take that down to 2, so I'm gonna make it fire 4 altogether, 2 from each pylon this time. There's no fusing or anything with this, with rockets. Next thing that needs to be selected is the air-to-ground mode. There we go. That will set up the CCIP circle, aiming circle. That is being changed by this here actually. Let's see what the other ones are. DSL, I do not know what it is. Auto, I do not. CIP is the only one I've been using that I know how it works. And then master arm on, and that's it. That's the 3 steps. You have to select the pylon or the weapons, the stations here or up here. You need to set up how you want them to fire, how many rockets from each pod. Master arm needs to be on, and air-to-ground mode needs to be on. That's it. Let's take off and see how that works. So let's try and do this from beginning in air. There we are, all blank. So select the stores, select what weapon you want to choose, so you can select those here or down here. Taking those. Since we set them from before, I think the other pylons is set to 1-1 again. You can set those to 2 rockets from 2 pylons. And also from the other stores, 2 rockets from 2 pylons. Air to ground is selected, and you get the ground rule. Then master arm on. When we dive in, the thick circle here will become thinner around. When it starts to become thinner, that means you're basically within range. So that's your maximum and minimum range of fire, as I understand it. A lot of those rockets are actually they fly pretty straight, so you can fire them from longer ranges. While the aiming CCIP is still thick. So let's see if we can find anything down here to fire at. I think I put in some really small vehicles down there. Where's my RPM? You see on the HUD it says CCIP. If master arm is off, that will blink. That needs to be solid. And it also tells you how many rockets you have on that selection. Got a few small ones here, so I'm gonna push one, see what happens. Pretty cool. Okay, so that fired 2 rockets from 2 pods. As intended. So now if we up this a bit, if we set 5 rockets from 2 pods, it will then fire 5 from this one, 5 from this one, 10 altogether. See how that pans out. Okay, I'm gonna do a dry run here to look at the circle to see how that depletes when it comes within range. See that? There it starts to get thinner. So that's basically within the maximum minimum range of fire or release. Okay, so you set 5 rockets on 2 pylons. That should be 10 rockets leaving the pylons on 1 pickle push or rocket release push. Actually, I'm gonna try and fire from a longer distance here. See those pods are selected now with the 19 on each pod. Has a hell of a spread, as you can see. Fire one more. Now we have 14 rockets left, so 7 on each, which it says. So now if I put that to, in theory, fire 7 from 2 pod, that should be all of them. And the next run. Another long range fire. See a nice spread. That should be all of them, yes. The 4 lines on the HUDs. Whoa. The 4 lines means that you're out of ammunition on those. on that selection. So again, now we have the other pod, we can select them there, or we can select them here. Master arm on, air to ground on, and then we'll select how many we want to fire. So we got 4. Let's say I want to fire 1 rocket from 2 pods. So 1 rocket here and 1 rocket here. That means you fire 2 at the same time. On that setup, since we have 4 on each pod, 8 altogether, we have 4 pickles. These rockets here actually are much more powerful. It's the no, we can't open the weapons thing here. That's the only one I use actually, because they can knock out quite heavy armored vehicles. They're very effective. Let's see how this goes. Try a slight dive this time, and then a deeper dive on the next one. Pickle. You can see those are pretty accurate. Target again. Try and take the 2 others now. 2 more left to do. Pickle. Pickle. See, now we have 2 rockets left, 1 in each pod. Just fire them at something. Alright, that's it. So master arm, oh, where's my cursor? Master arm off. Back to now, actually I'm gonna go land. And then just do a really quick recap of what needs to be done. It's very, very simple. It's actually the simplest weapon setup you can do. When it comes to Mavericks and GPU 12 bombs with lasing and stuff, then it gets a bit more advanced.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
So gear down, flaps down. Nozzle to 60. Water for landing. Nozzle to 82 degrees, that's your V-stall degree. That should be a hover nozzle. So slow down slowly here. Now I'm gonna drop down here. There we go. So a quick recap needs to be done. Select the stores. and then you select the weapons. You can select them up here, or you can select them down here. Here you select how many rockets that want to be released from one pod, and then how many pods you want to release. Leave it on CIP, like this. Next that needs to be done is air to ground activated and master arm on, and that's it.